So I'm Judith, Nyaboke, Ajode. Yeah, I'm a risk management professional, and we've been married for 6.5 months now. Married to this gentleman.
My name is Eric Olo Ajode. I'm a project management professional. Married 6.5 months and counting. Wonderful situation to get into. Married to one woman, this lovely lady here. Yes. I first saw Judith in school. I was doing my MBA at the University of Nairobi, and I was in class. But then we didn't talk, we didn't communicate at all. I didn't approach her until another day where she sat next to me in class, because there was no other seat other than the seat that was with me, next to me. And I decided to say hi to her, and from there it was on and going until the day we became very close and proceed. I don't know about how you saw that day, but for me that was the first day I met Judy. Yes. Yeah.
So it's true, we met in class, and I was late for the class, and I had to sit next to him. It was the only seat, and that class, he just kept disturbing me. He was fidgeting, he can't whisper, he's talking loudly, so we didn't even listen in class.
Yeah, I can't do save my life.
Yeah, you
can't I'm a whisperer. So
you remember at some point the lecturer told us to keep quiet. We were literally told to keep quiet. Yeah, but since then we just became friends for class. So we'd do assignments, we'd study together.
Yeah, I prayed every day for this, for us to be able to become more closer. And I thank God it came to be where it is right now. So every time I would ask politely, can I see you? She would say, no, I have something else. I'm going to see my mom, I'm going to spend my nieces, I'm traveling out of town. So this particular day I said, I'm tired of all this. So if today we should know, I'm even on beach, if it's happening or not. So I think that text, I wrote that text out of conviction that this has to happen. And
it's today or never.
It's today or never, yeah. And then I was shocked with the response that she gave back. She said, "Yeah, sure, let's meet." I remember that day because that was 19th of August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which year?
2016.
Yeah.
2016. Yeah. I remember that day because there's a new restaurant opening on Long Road, and they're opening on that same day. So I thought, I'd like to go and try it out, and I thought I would want to go with someone, because they were saying you have to come +1, and I said I only have 1 + 1, and +1, and she's always postponing on me. And she said yes, and then we met for dinner, and we talked, and that's the first time I asked her out and said, will you be my girlfriend? And she said yes. And that's where I would say the beginning of an official relationship that started at that point.
Yeah, so on that day when he asked me to meet him, I met him, but I knew he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend, so I still went, and he asked me, and I said yes. But in my mind, I was not ready to get into a relationship. I didn't feel like I was ready. So when he asked me and I said yes, I was like, let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But this guy is smooth. He's such a gentleman. This guy is such a gentleman. It didn't take me long to know him and to just fall in love with the person that he is. He was very different from what I knew. He would tell me, he would make very proper decisions, and he would think very rationally. And on top of that, he would treat me very well. So, yeah. He took leave from work and went to Shags without telling me, and he stayed for about 2 weeks. So I was so upset. I was just waiting for him to come back. So he came back, and I was wondering, how do I deal with this person? I had notes. I went and I was telling him, you're not supposed to do this. Then he said, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know. but I want to take you to Shags in about, that December. When we went to Shags, I found out that he went to tell people in Shags that I have gotten a wife. So they went there like, yeah, Eric alikuja akatuambia amepata bibi, tulikuwa tunangoja kukuona. That's history.
So when we came back, she said, okay, now it's time also for me to start introducing you to my family. And I remember the first person I met from the family, which I think she was smart enough to know how to like introduce me. So first, it was the sister. She has only one sister. Sheila, if you're watching, I know you're watching this one. The first person I met in the family was a sister called Sheila, and then I can't remember how I met your brother though. I think
it was in one of the meetings.
One of the evenings we went to see the sister also, I think. And then she told me, now it's time to meet the mother. That one for me was like, okay, I'm not so sure about this, but anyway, let's do this, yeah? You know, because we said I want to do it, let's do it, yeah? So we met the mother for lunch. We had a good conversation with the mother, and I liked her from the moment we sat down and had a conversation. I think she did the same for me. I never met the father until later on, but from what she used to tell me, that the father used to know I was around. So the first time I met the father, and he was very welcoming to me, and he was very nice to me, and I fell in love with the family at that point. And it was at that point that the father said, okay, now that you guys are serious, let's take it to the next step.
I'll start with the lowest point when we're dating. My lowest would be when he proposed, and right after he proposed, no. At work they were facing retrenchments, and so he was retrenched. But 2 days after that is when he proposed. So my lowest moment was when he was retrenched, because it was very hard for him, for us, especially as we were planning to do all these things. And yes, and my best moment was definitely when he proposed and the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that also would be my lowest moment, because I had so much plan, and I shared everything with her, and she knows the plans and what I want to do, and then that happened. Unfortunately, the reason why it was so low for me was at the same time she also was out of a job, and I would say I was pretty much person. We were. I would say our part of the encouragement that she had to get back into work, and happening to me also like broke us both. But I thank God that we got back on our feet and proceed from there. For me, the happiest moment was when she said, yes, I'll marry you. But that's a very interesting story on how that happened. So I'll start from choosing the ring to knowing the finger size and all that. Yeah. So again, this is where the sister came in handy. So I used to talk to the sister, and I asked the sister what size ring she wears, and because I couldn't take her and pimisha mkono yake, because she would be like, hey, so when you buy the ring,
and I'll send you pictures
of
the rings I want.
The ring she wants and all that, because I know she's a proper male, as in like you tell her you're going to buy a car, she will even go and Google to the detail of what bolt goes where in that car. So I told her we will do it. I will do it by the end of this year. This year will not end before us doing it. So you figure out the date. But so for that.
That was your resolution. New Year's for that resolution.
Year, yeah. So on that December, so I didn't graduate for some other unavoidable reasons. But she did. So when she graduated on the 23rd of December, after the graduation, I went home to Kenya. So she was hanging around with family here. So I came back from Kenya towards the last week of the year, and I came in, and I first person I went to see was her. She was at her sister's place, so I went to pick her. So when I picked her up, she had just done dinner and she was just there waiting. And so I picked her up, go for dinner again. So sister kind of became skeptical, like, why would he insist on taking for dinner and have just eaten? But she saw, I think the sister stayed up and she didn't sleep that day. So I took her to this hotel that she has always been singing about, called Lord Errol in Ruta. So we went for dinner there, and all through dinner, I was thinking how I'm going to do it. Because even I had planned to do it before we even started eating. And somehow she was so alert, like everything was coming, she was criticizing everything. So I knew she would not be surprised as normal. So what I did is I said, let me wait it on. So we did dinner, we did dessert, and I paid the bill and I said, we're going home. So she was like, it's not happening today. So we're going home.
And the year is ending.
And the year is ending tomorrow. And then, so how's going to do it? Because the year is ending and this guy has not done it. And here we have through dinner, we're going home. So what I did is I left the ring on her seat in the car. So we went for dinner. So when we came back, I opened the door for her, like I always do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sometimes, okay, as a man, sometimes you try. So I opened the door for her, and then she went in to sit. At that point, she had not seen the ring yet. So she sat on the ring. And when she sat on the ring, she thought, so she turned down to look for what she was sitting on, the box, and it was the ring on the box. And when she turned on the side of the door, I was on one knee. And I asked her, will you marry me? And she said yes. That's why I did my engagement.
So I was so surprised I couldn't even talk. On our way home, that was like at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
On our way home, 11, everyone is asleep. So my family is asleep, my sister. Samuku, I'm sending my sister a message. I'm like, guess what? She's like, I know. She killed my babu. But that's because she knew all along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very nice. After the proposal, first things first, the following day at 5 a.m., I woke up and I went to my mom's house. I said, my mom, like, I need to talk to you. And she was panicking. She's like, what is it? So I went and I told her, Mom, Eric proposed. He's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I know.
So I told her he wants to marry me. So yeah, so we decided to start the planning. And the first thing we were supposed to do is, first we went to talk to my dad. You had to go, you went to talk to my dad?
I went to talk to the father, yes.
And what did dad say?
Your father, well, first of all, he didn't understand. We kind of like, not millennial, say, but in between the millennial and the... So those other guys don't really understand proposal. They know if you want to get married, the boy goes to the father and says, the father has my daughter. So she was like, he didn't understand how this has gone to the daughter first. So I explained to him and he said, okay, fine, that's how you do it. It's okay, let's move on. So then the first step was that the traditional planning has started now. The first thing is now I have to go with my boys and officially ask for hand marriage at the home. And then the next step would be parents coming. So he explained that to me, and I went and confirmed with the father. Also, my father was saying that's the same procedure, and that's how we started. So we started planning on that. At this point, remember, both of us didn't have jobs at that time, so we both were depending on our reserves for this.
So the planning was first he has to come with the boys, but we thought it was going to be easy. But we were told, my dad said, no. You don't come to the boys to my house here in Nairobi, you have to come to Kisii.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So he planned and came with the boys to Kisii with a few of his boys.
So we got there and at 12 as they had, we had agreed.
They were told, okay, so we don't talk to boys, go and come back with your parents. You know, that was now there. Rurashe in Kisii, it's called Kegeni. So we planned for that. There was a bit of a hitch. We lost an uncle. Yeah. So it had to be postponed. So we had it in October. Yeah. Wanted to do it in July, but now we had it in October. And then I had just started a new job. So even getting time off was a bit tricky, but we managed. So in October we planned and they came with the whole family. And I think he expected it to be
same thing happened. We were there on time again and they are not done yet. So, second time now. Yeah? So me, my dad and my uncles, we are there, we are early. these guys are not set up yet. So we're like, okay, I guess let's wait for these guys first to finish up. Then we go in. Then they set up, and then we came in. So I expected it to be a tough one. It was not as tough, but I think maybe because I had created a good rapport with the family, and also my dad and her dad already met prior to this meeting. So yeah, it was a nice function. We had so much fun.
So we planned to go to their place, and I mean, you know, the way I like things planned is very different from the way he plans things. So I had quite a lot of pressure, wondering how the place will look. Will they do all these things? And I really wanted him to do the plan. I wanted them to plan because we were visitors at their home. Yeah. So we left on that 26th. We left here at like 4 in the morning. Because it's far, you know, it's past Kisumu. It's another 2 hours from Kisumu.
No, it's 1 hour.
Yes, stop lying. It's 2 hours.
It's 1 hour
from Kisumu.
Anyway, we can argue about those things later.
We're supposed to be there at what time? At 1?
Yeah.
At 1, yeah. Well, long and short, because of the long journey, we ended up getting there at 3.
Again, the third time now, guys are coming late.
We got there at 3, and when we drove in, and they saw what they had done, I was overwhelmed. I started crying, and I was wondering, wow, they actually did a very good job. It looked so beautiful. You did well with the decor. I really liked it. Then when I was crying in the car,
at least sometimes people
I'm not trying you, not trying you.
Yes, thank you.
So when I was in the car, my little nieces were telling me, Auntie Judith, stop crying. You know, if you cry, Paul won't come to your wedding. Yeah. So it was nice, and they came and welcomed me. They were singing and dancing. It was so I was welcomed by his brothers, 2 of his brothers.
My brothers are the one who walked her.
Yeah, so they walked me into the boma. And we sat, and we had a good time. They had talks in the house. I don't know what they're talking about, but the rest of us had a good time. So that was the last function before the wedding now.
Before the wedding, yes.
Yeah.
It's just another night, and I'm staring.
Dear friends and relatives, we're gathered here today in the presence of God to celebrate the joining together in marriage of this woman, Judith Nyaboke Onchwari, and this man, Eric Olo Ajode. I now pronounce you husband and wife.
It was a beautiful day. It was a very, very beautiful day.
Very lovely.
And we kept time.
Yes, I think we need to give a clap for that one. I actually told her, I remember we pay a deposit for lateness.
Yes.
And I even told the Pasi, wewe anataka tu kule pesa juu pesa na vile stay sioni kama ipata back. Tunago now chelewa. So on that day I was pretty impressed on how much time they kept. And we got there on time, and Pastor was like, "Hey, Eric."
Yeah. The wedding was starting at 11.
Props, I give you props.
At 11 sharp, Eric walked down the aisle.
I was walking down the aisle, and
So,
she was ready to walk down.
And you know, by then in our culture, that morning when you come, even the groom comes. All of them come to pick me up. And at home, it's another bash. We have cooked, and there's food, and there's sort of like a church service. So we have a pastor who comes in to pray and to now pray for us to go and do the wedding. Yeah. So we did all that, and we still made it. And the wedding was in Limuru. And we still made it to Limuru. From Kile to Limuru on time. And the traffic on that day on Wayaki Way
was crazy. I thank God for those outriders who we got.
Wow. We had to get a cop to just try and clear. By the time Wayaki was being fixed, it was a hot mess. But we got there on time. It was beautiful. Everything went according to plan. I mean, well, because again on that day, even if something is not going according to plan, there's nothing you can do.
Just enjoy the day,
Yeah. And the most important thing about that day is that we really enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
We enjoyed ourselves. Yeah. I think when I was thinking about this marriage thing, I had no idea, or rather whatever I thought it was not it. I just knew I'm coming in and I'm going to have someone in the house and we're going to be friends and everything will be smooth. But there's so many things that come in because yes, this is someone that you didn't grow up with. They were not raised the same way as you, so you're totally different people. So when you come in after the wedding and now we are living together, you start learning different things about this person. And things that you like and some, of course, that you don't like and you disagree with. So every day you wake up and you make a decision that you're choosing this person and you're choosing to love this person despite everything else. Yeah, because otherwise it would be a mess. Marriage, it wouldn't work. But the fact that we also love each other and we were friends before has really helped. And of course, there are all these, what society also expects out there. There's a certain, now the older generation expects that, the man sits and does ABCD and the woman is in the kitchen. But it depends on the two of us, yeah? We can both decide that, today we're going to be in the kitchen, we're going to help each other in the kitchen and talk. As we talk and we catch up, that helps as well. Another thing that has kept us going is that every week we have one day where we sit and just talk. We decide, whether we are sitting on that dining table and just decide we're going to discuss how our day is, how are we feeling. We sit and talk about our issues, because sometimes, you actually just bottle up so many issues.
Up so much and you don't get time to release.
Yeah,
but
and you end up getting very angry.
That helps more to the man, for me as a man, yeah? For her, I think she has that, also she has her friends. As men, we don't talk so much, but for me, I found an outlet in her, and that helps me a lot as a person. So far, my journey through marriage has been full of surprises and full of lovely things and memories. I'm learning more about her every other day. What she likes, what she doesn't like, how things are done. Of course, having been friends with her, at least I have like a good base. I know how she thinks, how she reacts to things, and what she expects, and that helps me plan my day-to-day activities in accordance to how she is. Also, something we both learned and we agreed on from pre-marital counseling we did together, in that it's more of what works for both of you. It's not about what used to happen or what is happening. For always being there for me. You're my pillar in this journey in life. I've learned to depend on you and lean on you so much. And I don't know if it wasn't for you, I would be where I am right now, because you supported me through the lowest point in my life to this point where I am right now. I'm learning to live with you and love you the way you are, and support you, because as you support me always. And I can't think of any better way to say this but to say thank you. Thank you, my life. Thank you for my life, and thank you.
I love you, babe.
I love you.
Okay.